All right, guys, welcome back to Remotely Wasted. Here to talk college football with you. I'm Nick, here with Jaden. Before we start, subscribe, comment, like, all that.
The
We,
usual
we,
jazz.
we need that. Helps the algorithm, helps us get more views and stuff. But yeah, this past weekend was crazy.
Hey, we,
The
we we
college,
said there was potential for upsets, and
yeah,
it
we did.
delivered. There was
Yeah,
like
we
four,
did.
I think. Four. Yeah, I want to say there was
There,
four.
there's a few, and it was just a really wild weekend. The At the time of recording this, the college football playoff rankings have just came out. I actually have not seen them yet,
I haven't either.
so
I'm about to pull it
this will be our live reaction to them, as well as kind of what we're thinking as far as our personal opinions on the rankings and stuff. But yeah, this weekend was one of the better weekends of the season, if not the best weekend. It was
It's
definitely the
been
best for
it's
me.
it's been a great season overall. Like all things considered, like I know our teams have been ass, but as a whole, like college football has been it's just chaos. I mean, if you're into that, I mean, if you're a fan of like one of those top teams and you know they've kind of fallen out of the playoff picture, like yeah, it's unfortunate, but you have to like appreciate like everything that's happening. You know, you got the Georgias and Alabamas with more than their normal losses, still able to somehow make the playoffs, kind of.
True.
Um, it's just it's just chaos.
It's complete chaos, and we still got another week left of the regular season for more chaos to happen.
I
Um,
want the picture. Is this it?
okay, yeah, this is the new looks like we got the new rankings. This is the first time we're seeing them so far. So it looks like we got Oregon at number one, obviously. Texas at number two because they're obviously going to win the SEC, or not win the SEC, but
Yeah.
they're in the driver's seat for the SEC. Miami, I don't know.
It's
I could
somehow.
argue SMU in
So
that
I
spot.
guess I was wrong with the ACC. So it's obviously SMU locked up one spot this past weekend. Clemson needs Miami to lose because Miami is gonna. I guess they get it. I don't know how they have that.
Oh, so if Miami loses, they're not in.
They're not in the ACC championship now.
Oh wow,
But
they're not in the playoffs probably at that point. You'd think at
but I
least.
don't think I don't know who they play this weekend. I don't think they'd lose. Oh shit! What is
That's a
this all
good
zoom?
question. All right, Miami. Let's see.
Yeah, they
They
got
got
Syracuse
Syracuse.
on. I mean,
It's
Syracuse
losable.
is
It's losable.
for sure, and Syracuse's offense is kind of like. I think Will Howard has. Is it Will Howard?
Kyle
No,
McCord.
no, Kyle McCord. Yeah, I get them so confused. They're like the same person almost.
Yeah, pretty
Uh,
much.
Kyle McCord, I think he's like one of the best passers in college football, or like at least they throw the most, something like that. It's crazy how much they throw the ball. So Miami's defense is really suspect. So Miami upset alert again, and
I might be watching that game. That's a game I might be really interested to see.
it's on the road. Syracuse has a decent stadium. I'm sure the fans are gonna
They're
sell
in a
out.
dome too. I think so that
Yeah,
helps a lot.
I think they'll sell out. I watched them play. Who did they just play this past weekend? UConn. Um, Game was pretty good. UConn, I think, came back to win the game like very late, or maybe I think I picked them like plus 11 on the spread, and I think they came back to cover or something like that. But maybe that's why I'm thinking they won. But yeah, Miami's. I don't know. At least they put SMU finally in the fucking bracket. This is the first week they've even put them in, I think.
Yeah, well, this is the week they had no choice because of
Everybody
all the
else
upsets
lost.
that happened this past weekend. I like, because I didn't really know how this worked, I guess, when the 12 team playoffs started. I kind of thought the Big 12, SEC, ACC, Big 10 just they automatically got the things, but it's actually just the top four highest ranked conference champions. So I like
Yeah.
the fact that Boise State's in
Well, they'll be
the
the
top
higher of
four.
the.
Yeah,
They'll
because
be higher than
Arizona
the Big
State's
12.
lower. Yeah, which is crazy. It just kind of shows you the state of the Big 12 right now. Maybe not the best conference in the world. Maybe not the conference we thought they were gonna be. Let's see what we got at five.
Ohio State's still
Ohio
5.
State playing Arizona State. I actually think that'd be a decent game.
Yeah.
I think
Penn,
Ohio State would win, but
Penn State's still 6. I think Notre Dame moved up a little bit.
Notre Dame is on the uptick. They just
They look nice.
thrashed
Yeah,
Army this past
I
weekend.
hate to see it.
Um, they're playing good. Ever since that Northern Illinois loss, they've just kind of bounced back. Kind of they look like a different team now.
Yeah,
Indiana's still in the picture. They got very lucky
they
that
did.
Ole Miss and Alabama also lost, but they still are in the playoff picture. They did not look good to me at all against Ohio State. They looked good maybe the first quarter, and I don't know, they just started falling off as
Honestly,
that
I think that's probably the best spot for them if they wanna progress. 'Cause, like
all
if
they
they
have to
match,
do is win in the next game and they're
'cause
in
I
pretty
I
much.
think they could beat Penn State and Miami's anybody could beat Miami. But like that I think that's the best spot for them because I mean they don't want to be 12 because you don't want to play Ohio State. They obviously just lost. I don't think they'd beat Georgia or Tennessee. I don't think they'd beat SMU or Notre Dame. But I think they could beat Penn State. I think they could beat Miami too. So if they can secure if that little row right there stays the same, I think they got a shot for the semifinals.
Yeah, I think they do as well. Because I mean,
Yeah.
Penn State, they've just never proven that they can win a big game. Indiana,
They can't
they've
win
won
any
big
big
games.
games.
Yeah, I don't
Like
know what big game they've won this year
James
to
Franklin's
even make them
record
as high as they are.
in big games is bad.
It's
Uh,
ridiculous. And Boise State, honestly, they do suck. I can't
yeah,
lie.
they're squeaking by. I
It's
don't
just
know.
Genty. It's all Genty. That's all they got.
I guess he got like banged up in that game. He had to come back in to help them score a touchdown. Um,
Because
yeah,
they by far have the easiest schedule out of all these teams.
them in
And
Indiana.
they struggle probably the most out of all of these teams. So
But
other than
like
maybe Miami.
watching them play Oregon though, it's like crazy. Like so it's like maybe they're just playing to the competition, like a lot
True,
of these
true.
teams do. And I talk about that all the time. And I mean also you gotta think like all these teams playing them are like, oh, this team's they're in the playoffs. Like let's try to knock them out. You know what I mean? They got one of the Heisman
Yeah.
contenders. Like
They do have a target on their back every time
let's try to stop them. Shit, I think they probably have one of the bigger targets on their back out of like most of these teams, you know?
yeah.
Georgia squeaked back in here. They just won't go away.
Georgia is just they're a weird team because you look at their wins, their big win obviously is against Texas, but then you look at the losses and
Thrashed them.
you're like, okay, what's going on here? Because Ole
Blown out
Miss,
by
that
Ole
loss
Miss.
is not looking good anymore with Ole Miss just
No.
dropping another one. And that's speaking, the
And then
Ole Miss is
and then
ridiculous.
the Alabama loss too. It's like
Yeah,
with how
Alabama's not
bad they were
looking.
getting stomped out. Like yeah, they brought it back a little bit, but um I don't know. And then seeing how Alabama played this past weekend, it's like what the fuck? What is going on?
I kind of think this
It's
is
hard
my
to
theory. My theory is that the SEC is actually not that good this year. I think the Big Ten to me looks like the more dominant conference this year.
I just think there's so much more talent spread. Like there's not these super teams anymore. Well, for now, it's about to be. Uh, yeah, it's just a lot more even, and then I think the gaps are kind of closed from the top a little bit. So like these teams, everybody's gonna lose at some point almost. I mean, I think Oregon's the only team that hasn't lost, but they've almost got
That's
caught
insane.
like at least twice, maybe three times. Like they had a close
Yeah,
game against Idaho. Close game against
close
Boise
against
State,
Boise and
squeaked out the
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin game. So it's like they're beatable. It's not
And
like they're
Ohio State was a 1 point win too. So
yeah, I guess they squeaked that one out, but that's a big game, so props to them for winning that one. Um yeah, it's just every team looks beatable, but also a couple of these teams look like they could win it all, you know, like Oregon could definitely win it all. Miami could if they could just outscore everybody. Like Cam Ward's got to play fucking superhero every game. Texas, yeah, they could do it. Notre Dame, I think, could do it.
I think
Pitt,
Ohio State has a very good shot.
Ohio State has a very good shot. Penn State, if they could find some fucking offense.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
Georgia could definitely get it together.
they just turn it on. Yeah.
Carson Beck's just got to get his shit together. Tennessee, I don't think so. I think their quarterback's a little too, well, he's a little too raw.
Yeah.
I honestly, I think those are the only teams that have a shot. I mean, yeah, there's any given day, like, Arizona could get an upset against Ohio State first game, but like to do it, four games in a row, like, it's not
Yeah, I
likely.
doubt it. I mean, the teams in this bracket that look like pretenders to me are probably Boise
Boise
State,
State,
SMU, Indiana, and
Tennessee,
Tennessee.
Arizona State.
Arizona State, they're kind of on an upswing, but they
They
have a
are.
loss to Cincinnati, which is just I don't know. It's just that doesn't look very good right
Yeah.
now.
All these teams are
Um,
just random losses, and you're like, what the fuck happened there?
SMU, their only losses to BYU, but BYU is
It
on the
was,
downside, so
it
that's
was a
starting to
close
look,
game though.
and it was very close, so it's starting to not look that great. And
I think
I like
SMU is
SMU,
solid. I think they're a
I like
solid
them a
team.
lot, but I think they would get their ass whooped by a lot of these teams. I think they can beat Miami though in the ACC championship.
Yeah, I think almost all these teams could beat Miami.
Yeah, Miami, other than Boise State, is probably the weakest of this team. Or out of all these, they've struggled the most, probably.
Yeah.
There's been like 5, 6 games where they've
The
struggled.
last three, I think they've struggled pretty. It's been pretty close. Like that San Jose State game, the score is kind of misleading. That game was really close for like 3.5 quarters. So yeah, it's a cool looking bracket. I like it. There's teams you would never expect to see make the playoffs, like in like like back when it was a four team. Um, Now you're gonna see some big games. I mean, hopefully some of this doesn't stay the same. I mean, I don't want to see Indiana play Penn State, and I don't want to see Tennessee play Georgia again. So I mean, shit, you could just switch two of those. I'd be cool with it.
Yeah. But the bracket's not going to be the same. We're going into rivalry week this weekend.
Yeah, somebody's gonna
There's
lose.
somebody's going to lose. Somebody's
Almost
going to
every
get
week's
upset.
almost every week's had an upset, at least one. I maybe every week has. I'm struggling to remember one without one.
Yeah,
And
pretty much every week. There's not really been like any terribly boring weekends except for that one weekend like a couple weeks ago
it was like
where
three
there's
weeks
like
ago.
maybe like one upset and everything else was just boring. But so far so good. So I guess we could get into our own like personal rankings. Start at 12. I have Boise State at 12.
I have Arizona State at 12. I thought I was kind of crazy putting them there, and then until I pulled this up, and I was like, oh, okay, it makes sense. Kind of feeling the same way.
Yeah.
Actually, looking at this, mine's similar-ish,
Mine's a little bit different.
pretty
And
close.
I just want to make note that mine's more just based off it's like a power ranking. Just like give you my top four of who I think are going to be the conference champions right now. I got Oregon, Texas, Arizona State, SMU. That's who I think will be the highest ranked conference champions by the end of this.
That'd be crazy for like 14 buys, like those teams. It's kind of cool.
That
SMU and
would be
Arizona
crazy.
State pulling a buy is nuts.
Yeah. So at 11, who do you have?
I got Indiana. I
I think
I
that's
I
that's a good spot for him,
I almost
honestly.
took them out. I mean, but everybody was kind of on the same page. Like they lose this game, like they're still fine as long as they win next week. They'll squeak
Yeah.
in.
I wanted to take him out because they did look really, really, really bad.
They could do nothing on offense. And their defense, like they can't tackle.
And they gave up just huge play. It was hard to watch. Um, I went
Yeah.
with Arizona State as far as my like power ranking. Basically, I have Arizona State at 11. I think they are playing really good down the stretch. Just they have a couple of really questionable losses, but they're starting to look like the best team in the Big 12 at this moment. Colorado, they just got beat by
They
Kansas.
got beat. They got
Um,
beat down.
they did get beat down. BYU lost again. Uh,
Yup, called that one.
yeah, so the Big 12, I mean, I don't know. It just looks like it's Arizona State's to lose at this moment. We'll see if
Yup.
they could get it pulled out, which is crazy because going into the season, you would have thought it was going to be Arizona that would be like in this position at the end
Yeah,
of the season.
I know we were both super high on Arizona. They just I don't know what the fuck happened to them. Fafita is not cooking like we thought.
Yeah.
I hate to see it.
Number 10, who do you got?
Tennessee.
That's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't. Tennessee's a weird team, man. Their offense is confusing to me. I like the scheme that they run, but I just think their quarterback, like, they got good position players. Dylan Sampson, the running back, he's really good. It's just quarterback. He needs to hopefully find something to get it going because I think a lot of the losses are kind of on him, and the
Yeah, I would
defense is
say
kind
so.
of not consistent.
Yeah, the defense, they have a really strong defensive line. They just, I don't know, they didn't perform very well against Georgia at all.
No,
And I don't know, they just had really weird, like they barely pulled off the Bama win, got pretty much beat down by Georgia,
at home.
struggled heavily against Florida, which doesn't look as bad now
Yeah,
as it did then, but it's still not great. And then you lost to Arkansas. I want to say they might have another close game under their belt. I don't like Tennessee at all. I actually left them off my list, just based off like my power rankings, personal opinions. Obviously, I know how the committee thinks, and they're going to have them up there, but I don't
yeah.
think they're worthy of a
I,
playoff
I
spot.
like I liked them a lot earlier in the year. I was like, okay, I like this Tennessee, and I still like them. I I don't think there's really anything I don't like. I just don't like how the offense is performing, I
I
guess.
just think they're a little bit inexperienced, especially on that quarterback, like you said. They're probably like a year away from being really
I think they're in that
contenders
same
again.
boat with South Carolina. Like they're like right there with them. But South
Yeah,
Carolina's quarterback's looking incredible as the weeks go by. And
absolutely.
Nico's not kind of keeping that same upward trajectory. Nine, I got Georgia. I didn't want to put him back in there. I almost did some crazy shit, and I almost put South Carolina in here.
That's who I have at 9.
I really
But
was like, I wanted to put him over Georgia and Tennessee, but I was like, nah, I
I
can't.
put them over Indy because I had Indiana at 10, the South Carolina, and it was like I know it's a hot take, but I'm
Yeah, a
just looking
little
at
bit.
their like, because you got to understand, like Sellers was inexperienced, and the more experience he's gotten,
Well, better
the
they're looking.
better South Carolina's, and they have probably the best D line in the entire country. And, I mean, they've knocked off big teams. They knocked off A&M. They got very close to knocking Bama off, and that was early in Sellers' career. I think if
Yeah,
you put those two teams out there now, I think South Carolina wins.
no, absolutely.
So I
I
mean, it's a
think
hot take. Obviously, they're probably not going to make the playoffs, but
I have heard a lot of people are talking like that LSU loss. If they didn't lose that game, like they'd be in here.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Um, I don't know if there's like a path for them to make the playoffs. Like I think it'd be cool. I remember we was talking about it. If you basically took the 12 team playoff and you took it like all the way back to like the beginning of like the BCS, I think every year there would be at least one 3-loss team in. So and right
I
now
just
it's who's
it's gonna be Bama probably if there is a three-loss team, unfortunately.
yeah, 'cause the highest 3 losses them, Ole Miss and South Carolina. So it's like how do you differentiate between them? Like 'cause Alabama's
Yeah,
got the head to head over to South Carolina. So like that.
you need Bama to lose the Iron Bowl this weekend, which I think is very possible, especially how good Auburn played against A&M this past weekend.
For
So
sure. And I think
this
it's
is the year where
in
they could lose it.
no, it's in Alabama or in Tuscaloosa. Yeah, I don't know. I'd like South Carolina to squeak in there. That'd be cool. I think they could definitely ruin some people's season. That team is nasty.
I think they're one of the best teams in college football. Obviously, yeah, obviously I don't think they'll make it, but they're my ninth best. And going into 8, I went with Miami.
I got Miami at
Um,
8 too.
I
I
think
almost
they're
forgot to even
gonna
put them on here, and I was like, I'm forgetting somebody, and I was like looking back, and I was like, oh yeah, there's Miami's little scrub asses with 1 loss.
I couldn't. Who was I
You
considering?
can't not put them in there. Like,
I was definitely gonna put them in there. I think it was kind of between them and another team where I was gonna, maybe put somebody above them, but I was like, nah. They do have a bad loss,
loss is terrible.
but
But Notre Dame has a worse loss.
that's what I'm saying. But Notre Dame also hasn't struggled week to week the same way Miami has.
Miami's struggling every week. It's a goddamn shootout.
They have a great offense. Defense is not good.
They was
Um,
struggling this past week. I mean, they did pull it out like later, but like at least the first half, it was close.
every start to their game is like they're down or they're very like tied
Yeah, I think
until
if they
like
come up
first quarter
against
halftime.
a team with a really good offense and they come out struggling like that, the hole is gonna be too deep before they are able to turn it on.
Yeah, I think so. I went with SMU at 7. I think that was where I was trying to differentiate, like SMU or Miami. I was like, ah, Miami has the worse loss than SMU, but SMU doesn't really have a super impressive win.
No,
Because like K-State was an impressive win, it's not really impressive now. Um,
but they're kind of in that same boat. Indiana
Miami
was
doesn't
just
really have
in.
an impressive win either, though. So.
No, they really don't.
And
I
they
guess
really
for the
they
Florida
kind of have
wins,
a loss.
Florida wins looking a little better
Mm,
ish.
Virginia Tech, that was a loss. Like
Yeah, I cannot be convinced otherwise. They
it got
lost that fucking
overturned.
game.
Like they should have two losses.
Can't be convinced. I got Penn State 7.
That's fair. Fuck Penn State.
I don't know. I like Penn State,
I
but
like them, but I'm just
they
tired of
annoy the
tired
shit
of their
out of me.
shit.
Like, just please do something. 6, I got Notre Dame.
6 is where I put Penn State. Um, yeah, like we don't even need to talk about Penn
I mean, yeah,
State.
Penn State has the better loss, but I think Notre Dame's better than them.
Oh,
I think Notre
I actually have Notre Dame a little bit
I
higher.
think Notre Dame would beat the doors off Penn State if they played tomorrow.
Oh, I think so too. I went with
Uh,
Georgia at number 5.
okay, I got Ohio State at 5.
Interesting. Are you basing it off of like conference champions? Is that why you have
Yeah,
them at 5?
yeah.
Okay.
I think my
Yeah.
top 5 stayed the same.
Okay. Yeah.
No,
Because
no,
I'm doing
I
mine like a
changed out
power
4.
ranking.
I changed out 4 because
Yeah. Because
I don't remember who I had at 4 last week.
did you have Colorado at 4 last week?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah, I have Georgia at 5 because I'm doing like a power ranking. I think I don't know. They're just like a Jekyll and Hyde type team. It's just hard to know what you're getting out
It's
of
on
them.
Carson Beck. It's just how well he's gonna play.
But with that being said, I now that this was a thing because I was like, should I put Penn State above Georgia because Penn State only has one loss, Georgia has two. But what good win does Penn State have that you could justify when Georgia has Tennessee and
It's got USC.
Texas. Yeah, they got USC who's 7-6.
Illinois is okay. I mean, they're ranked now. Uh, Barely squeaked out Minnesota this past week. I
Yeah,
thought
that's
Minnesota
another
was gonna
thing.
beat them. That's what I said. And sure enough, they barely squeaked that one out.
All right. So your 4 is based off the conference champions then.
Yeah, I got Boise State 4, SMU 3, Texas 2, Oregon 1.
Okay.
I still think SMU beats Miami.
So we basically have everything except I have Arizona State instead of Boise State. Pretty
Yeah, I
much
think
is we so as far as the
we
conference
all have
champions,
the same
the
teams pretty
same.
much.
For my like power rankings, I have Notre Dame at 4, Texas 3, Ohio State 2, Oregon 1. Um,
I like that. That's valid.
Texas, their win against us looks a little bit better now. We got that win against Alabama. They looked
True.
pretty good against Kentucky. They struggled early on, like it was they're down or it was tied or something, but they ended up
They just
winning like 34-13 or something.
they keep doing that same shit too, starting slow.
Yeah, they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna win the SEC. Like really, really.
Shit, A&M. I think A&M still can beat them, even though A&M just lost.
They play them this weekend, and I can't remember where it's at. I think it's in Austin actually.
Man, I knew A&M was gonna lose. Looking ahead to Texas, you fucking got Auburn in between that, and sure enough, Auburn game was an absolute shootout with the 4 overtimes.
That's
That's
crazy. That is insane.
A&M was fighting for their life in that game and just couldn't do it. Man, how wrong were we about Marcel Reed? I thought that man was after watching him play LSU coming off the bench, that he looked like the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Oh, I was
And
like halfway considered putting him at the bottom of my Heisman or
he
something.
looked fucking incredible. I was like, Who is this? I've never just seen somebody come off the bench and just cook like that. The dude looked insane. Granted that maybe doesn't look so good now with how LSU's been performing, but
I think he
still,
still has potential to be that good.
yeah,
Um,
he's a freshman too, and I think he definitely gives them the best shot going forward. And I think they got something on their hands with him. I think he just needs a little bit more refinement.
he's just a little too raw right now, I think.
Yeah, I think he's still really good, but he's definitely not as good as good as we thought.
I thought he was like a Caleb Williams, like a instant like first game in, you're like, oh, this guy's a superstar.
He looked like it.
It sucks for A&M. I was actually like this. I didn't like them starting the season, but they're starting to grow on me like throughout the season. I'm like, I kind of like A&M. I hope
I
they
love their
make
coach. I
a
like Mike
run.
Coco a lot. I think A&M's got a lot to look forward to with, Marcel Reed, got a good head coach. It's his first year. I I think they've performed well.
They're doing way better than they did. They had that one good year under Jimmo, and this is better than any other year besides that year for A&M.
Yeah,
So
I think
far
they're
for
just
her
gonna
first
get
year.
they're just gonna get better. And being in the SEC, that it's looking like you can be in and this SEC or the Big Ten and potentially still make the playoff with three losses as long as they're not to like bad teams. So if you can, come into the year and maybe only lose to like Georgia, Bama, and if you have a fucking some crazy out of conference game against like fucking Ohio State or something like that, and like, okay, those are three great losses. Like, yeah, you're in.
Yeah, as long as you have a couple of good wins under your belt as well.
Yeah.
I think yeah, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to make it. Speaking of that game, Auburn and Texas A&M was my game of the week.
Actually, I didn't put one. I didn't get to watch a lot. Um, I was before we hopped on here, I was kind of looking at this one because I was like, if I was just gonna pick one, I was gonna go with this. Um,
I
yeah,
actually didn't watch this game because this is going on
I
at the
did
same time as the OU game.
four
Um,
overtimes is nuts.
but
And
anytime you have
man,
a four overtime game,
this Auburn team is actually really good. I'm pretty sure the majority of these losses that they have were like early in the year, and they were due to just turnovers, like Thorne fucking throwing interceptions or fumbles. Like it's not like yeah, they're losing themselves the game, but it's not like based off how they were playing. It's just bad
yeah,
turnovers.
it's not like they don't have the talent or there's like
Yeah,
a lack of
I don't think this
on the
I
team.
don't think this record really reflects how good this Auburn team is. So them putting 43 on A&M, like Alabama's got to be like, I'd be kind of nervous.
Well, and
And just seeing how
Auburn's 5-6. They're fighting for bowl eligibility here. They got
exactly.
things to fight for.
So Alabama's fighting to potentially get the play back in the playoffs, and Auburn's fighting to just make a bowl game, and it's also their rival. So why not ruin their fucking season and make their season slightly better? So
I love the Iron Bowl, honestly. I hope
it's
it's a
it's a
good
lot
one
of
this
it's a lot
year.
of fun. I think it'll be a good game, especially after seeing how Alabama played. If there still was a Nick Saban team coming off that game into this game, I'd be like Auburn stands no chance. Like Nick Saban would be all up in that ass, but I just I don't know. Kalen DeBoer is starting to like I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. It is his first year, so you kind of almost have to give him just a pass. But that game is like just unexcusable. Like what just happened? Like what the fuck were they doing?
Oh yeah, I mean
It's
that was
crazy.
it's been it's a not a very good team they played,
That's the worst Alabama
and
team Alabama performance I've ever seen.
they got destroyed by a team that was looking like they weren't even going to make a bowl game before that game started.
Dude, we've been talking about OU's down in the basement with Florida State this year, like offensively. Like that's we've on the similar wavelength.
Yeah,
You
that's
guys are
the
slightly better.
I think
And
we're like barely like we're in the 120th something
yeah.
ranking.
And the fact that like, you guys couldn't throw the ball, you guys just ran it the whole game is like wild. They still couldn't stop it. It's
Yeah.
insane.
Um, Best performance. I went with
Oh, with
Ohio State.
Oklahoma.
Oh yeah, I could have done that, but
Yeah.
like I'll do team talk this week, so I went with Ohio State.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's a good performance. They shot at Indiana down like that first the first drive, Indiana they went down 6 minutes. They was just moving. They scored and I was like, okay, we got a game. I was like, because I watched like the first half of this game, maybe third quarter, and then I was like, once it started getting away, I was like, yeah, Indiana's they could because they couldn't do anything. I was like, there's no
Yeah,
way.
once they went up, I think 21. I was just like, then it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, that punt
Um,
return really is just like the fucking dagger. Because like before then, it was still close. I think the punt return really just took the wind out of Indiana's sails because they was already kind of struggling a little bit. At that point, it's like two touchdowns is almost insurmountable at that point because they couldn't get a stop. They couldn't really move the ball well. Like Rourke couldn't fight. He had no time to throw. He could not have a clean
yeah,
pocket.
that
He
I
was
feel
just
like that
getting
O line got
smacked.
exposed big time in that game.
And then the
Um,
defense, like they didn't play like bad, but they couldn't tackle anybody in open space.
they just gave a lot of third and longs up, which is just
Yeah.
that's just like a big momentum killer. It kills the morale of the defense. after you got them. Like there was one, and I don't even know if it resulted in a score. I don't think it did, but it was early in the game. They had Ohio State pinned back like third and 35,
I think I remember that. Yeah,
and then they got like 20 yards on a pass, and then went for it on like fourth and 10, and they got the first down. And I don't know. That's just like that's not
that's
like
not good at
I don't.
all.
That's inexcusable. Like that's just ridiculous.
I don't even know how you do that.
That kind of stuff is what cost you a game, and I don't know,
That's
man. I
why
just
you teams fucking do that all the time. They're like, oh, it's third and a mile. Let's run prevent defense, and they pick up like at least half of it. And they're like, fuck it, we'll just do it again.
yeah,
Like
just yeah, run a
it's
normal defense. Run like I don't
blitz
know.
somebody, put some pressure on the quarterback. Like
Yeah, at
fuck, I
least
don't
blitz
know.
one guy. Like
Like
blitz one guy or something,
they'd be like rushing two. You're like, what?
or
It's
show blitz. Do like a Tampa two or something. I don't know. Just like don't
they
sit back and do
got six
some lame
DBs
ass
back there just playing
cover
zone too.
cover six in zone, basically, just begging to get give up a first down. Um,
Tragic. Yeah, this
yeah, I think
game I
Ohio
was
State
sad.
looked great. This kind of really convinced me that Ohio State's a really good team this year.
You know,
Um,
I honestly I don't think this is like okay, yeah, obviously Arizona or not Arizona, Ohio State's a good team, but I think this is just proving Indiana's not as good as we thought because they've indeed played nobody to really show us. And it's the first. Granted, it is one of the better teams in college football, so it's kind of hard to like. Okay, are they just bad or, you know what I mean?
I think it's a little bit of a mixture of both because Indiana, like you said, Indiana hadn't really played anybody that like they did play Michigan, who had a good defense, not a very good offense, obviously, but that was good defense. I was like, okay, they could score on like a decent defense.
They scored. I think they only put up like 21 or something like that on them.
Yeah,
20,
which
25
I mean,
maybe.
like
Well,
this
it's
was
not
kind
too
of
much more.
a similar offensive performance. So I don't know, man. I think their defense is worse than we thought it was for sure.
Yeah. Well,
Because they gave
Cignetti's
up
got
a
some work to do.
yeah. I mean, but it's year one. And they're he just re-signed for like 5 years.
I
Hopefully
wonder if
that
he's like,
gets some
after seeing
recruits.
this, he's like, ah, damn, we're not as good as I thought. Like, I wonder if he's like, in the back of his mind's like, did I make a mistake? Like, did I just overvalue how good we are just based off of the severe lack of Big Ten talent that they've played? They played literally the entire bottom half,
He's like,
all
oh,
of
maybe
them.
I should have taken a big job.
I don't know, man. It's not looking, it doesn't look good. I don't know, but maybe he's cool
Um,
just writing it out.
Most
Uh,
disappointing performance.
I went with Ole Miss.
Oh, I could have gone that way. I didn't think about them like that, really.
I mean, Ole Miss got also kind of got lucky. This was not a night game, and I think it would have been worse. I don't know what the fuck happened to them. Like, I watched a little bit of the game, but not really enough to like get a feel on like where it went wrong for them. Florida's defense is just improved every week. They've gotten really good. DJ Lagway's looking nice. Florida's gonna be a problem going forward. They they pulled like all the recruits in the state other than Miami. So like they flipped like all the in-state recruits that were coming to us have all just flipped over to Florida. So they're just gonna get better.
Honestly, I think if you're a recruit, you're better off going to Florida than Miami. I just like the
I
trajectory Florida is on right now.
I did too. I like them a lot. I hate saying that. I hate saying it so bad, but I would rather Florida be good than Miami. 100%.
Yeah, because they're in your conference and shit
Yeah.
too.
I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. I
They're
mean,
just a good team.
this was a bad loss for. This was just another Ole Miss. Like it's like Penn State. You know, it's just like
Yep.
why did you do this? Like what is wrong with you? This Ole Miss has never had such a good shot to make the playoffs. 12 teams
And
expanded to.
Jackson Dart, he did lose this game for them. I watched. Did you see the end of this game?
No, I
So
didn't.
they had a drive like they was going down the field, throw an interception. Okay, I don't remember if that resulted in that touchdown right there. But then like the next drive goes down, throws another interception, but then they drop it. I think literally the next play throws another interception. They actually get it this time to like to lose like to ice the game. So he had like multiple opportunities to go tie the game, to go win the game. He's just yeah, 24-41. That's terrible. That's
That's yeah. It's almost it's nearly
and he's the leading rusher of
50%.
the team.
Yeah, that's bad as well.
They did lose their best receiver, Trey Harris. Um, I don't. Maybe that took their momentum down a little bit, shot the
He does,
confidence.
and Jackson Dart does have really good chemistry with Trey Harris.
Yeah,
Um, so I could definitely see that being a factor because that's his number one go-to guy. Anytime he's in trouble, that's probably who he's throwing the ball to. I don't know, man. Florida's good though. I will say that Florida's good, but Ole Miss, they were like I was going into this season thinking Ole Miss could win the whole thing,
I did too.
and they've just kind of just been same old Ole Miss. And Lane Kiffin should probably move on at this point.
Yeah,
there's obviously he cannot get the
something.
maximum talent that he needs there to be able to pull off a championship run. But yeah, I would say that's a good pick for worst performance. I went with Army.
Yeah,
Um, they just killed my vibe.
I was sad about that one.
Like you said though, you were like you texted me and you're like I wasn't surprised really. And honestly, I wasn't surprised either, but I had like more hope in Army than I did in Navy.
And it was about the same.
Oh, it's so bad.
Actually,
I
I
mean,
think Navy scored 3 more points. I think they put 17 up. I mean,
Bryson Daly
Bryson
still had a
Daly
great
still,
running.
yeah, he still cooked. It's just they just couldn't get any stops. It seems like let's see, let's look at the drives. Maybe they probably didn't get any stops. Touchdown, touchdown. Oh, they turned it over on downs on the goal. So yeah, okay, that makes sense. Touchdown, touchdown, missed a field goal, touchdown, missed a field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Like they got one stop, but like that's
That wasn't even
kind
the
of
stop
Notre
too.
that's
They
kind of
drove
Notre
all the way
Dame's.
down the field to there too.
Yeah,
So they
so
basically every time they touched the ball, they were in scoring position.
and then Army punt, punt, touchdown. So like looking here, it's okay, it's not bad. Turnover down, okay. And then they only went up fucking 7 yards from there. Punt. They had great field position, touchdown. Another punt, loss of 13, touchdown. Then they fumbled it. At that point, the game's just over. Missed
Yeah.
a field goal, touchdown. Turned it over on downs. Missed a field goal. Turned it over on downs again. Turned it over on downs again. Like that's in the same boat as Navy. They shot themselves in the foot. You turned it over on downs what three times, and then you had a fumble. So that's 4 drives you gave away. Um, I think if they just had a slightly more open offense, like yeah, I like the offense that they run, but like they need to be able to throw the ball more consistently. Like
Yeah.
26 yards passing is not going to do it.
Yeah, on what 8 attempts. I mean, you got to throw the ball at least 20, 25 times, I feel like.
Yeah, like you can run this offense, cool, but you need to be able to throw the ball. Like has to happen. Especially against a team like this where okay, we're starting to get behind a little bit. We're gonna have to open it up a little bit, Like we could still run our offense and like maybe on second down lineup, fucking run the triple option, maybe even third down, but like come out on first down and throw it, or
Yeah.
third
Well,
third
I
medium,
think
let's throw it.
the Notre Dame defense is so athletic
They just
that
keyed into the run
they
and
they know okay, we're just gonna sell out on the run.
yeah,
They're not gonna throw it.
they was
They're
just
not going to
getting
be able to outrun
tackles.
us because we have better athletes on defense.
Yeah,
So they can't out physical us because we got more physical D line. There's just nothing you can really do. I
yeah.
mean, Brandon Bryson Daly, he still had a good rushing game, but
No, that's great, honestly.
they still held him to 14 points.
Yeah.
This is probably the most disappointing loss for me this season, just because this was like the one team I was like, I really hope this team like
I
could
just
make
wanted
it
to,
all.
yeah, I really did.
I'm still am interested in the Army Navy game. Like I'll still watch it, but it won't be the same as what it could have been,
Yeah.
which is what's a little bit disappointing about it.
What could have been? What could have been?
Player of the week. I feel like we might have the same guy. I want Devin Neal.
Oh yeah, my went
Yeah, I
stupid.
was about to say like there's no way you pick somebody else.
I mean, I almost went with who the fuck did I almost go with? I was looking at South Carolina's quarterbacks, Sellers, but they played like Wofford or some shit.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I don't know, but yeah, the man had 4 tutties. Had himself a game. That's what I think. This might be like a career game for him.
Yeah, he had four
207
touchdowns.
he just carried the rock the whole game. Uh, did he
Had
score
a
all
re-
of their touchdowns?
Yeah, he had a receiving touchdown as well.
They scored
Um,
27, so
so they might have
he
he
scored
probably
28
didn't
of
get
them.
one. Yeah, four touchdowns, which is crazy. He
he
had the
was
game
just.
you would expect in like Travis Hunter to have, basically.
I mean, Travis Hunter had a good game too.
He did. He had a fantastic game.
It's just
Ah,
Colorado's defense had no answers. This man was just doing whatever he wanted.
I ain't gonna lie, this game pissed me the fuck off because like
I've watched some
why
highlights.
Kansas pisses me off because like why weren't you doing this earlier in the season? Like it would have been kind of cool if Kansas was like a contender, but they're just like
This is a
not
great
even
team.
bowl eligible.
This is a great team. Kansas is really good. And they just ruined like three people a season. I mean, actually, I think all three of these teams losing in back to back to back weeks like really kind of did nothing.
Helped Arizona State. I feel like that's the biggest thing it did.
Yeah, because now I think Arizona State's locked in, and then now I think like Colorado's got three losses, BYU's got two, I think Iowa State's got two. I think this is K-State's third. So I think it might be Iowa State and Arizona State. Let's see.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know how the tiebreaker and stuff works in the Big 12 at the
Yeah.
moment.
I mean, according to
So
if this is accurate,
so BYU technically has the edge right now. So it would seem that BYU just needs to win this last game. Are they playing each other by chance? I doubt it, but
they got
no.
Houston.
It could be lost by no, yeah, I don't know.
Arizona
I don't know
State's
what that
got
team.
Arizona rivalry week.
Rivalry game. And that's they're still good. They still got good players.
Iowa State's got K-State. That could be a
That's not a
loss.
cakewalk.
No. Colorado's
Colorado,
got OSU.
OSU,
Fucking.
that's a win.
I mean, yeah, but OSU be just playing random teams. Like they be just scoring a lot. Like the Texas Tech this past week. Texas Tech's a solid team this year. That game was an
Yeah.
absolute shootout. They almost took BYU
They just have
down.
no defense. Oklahoma State does.
They're 0-8 in the conference. Holy shit.
They're 3-8. Yeah, they're on pace to be 3-9 this season. Um,
They squeaked the Arkansas win out. I mean, they're putting points up on the teams they're playing. It's not like they're getting blown out. Like if they could get like a stop or two, like that
if they could
take it.
have a good defensive performance, they could get a win. But because
Yeah,
their offense,
I don't think it's gonna happen, but it's possible.
Ollie Gordon says he's probably coming back next year, which is kind of interesting.
Why? I would transfer.
I think it's because he's well, I think it was either go to the draft or come back to school. And
I'm transferring.
I think Ashton Genty kind of took the wind out of his sails as far as NFL. So he's probably just like, I could probably wait another year and
He
get my
might not
draft
even be
stock
the
up.
top five running backs going in.
Yeah, so he was looking like, the number like he's probably gonna be a top 10 pick. Now he's talking about going back to school. It'd be interesting if he went back to Oklahoma State. I think it'd be cool if he hit the portal.
I think it would be a mistake to
He'd
go
be
back.
so much be so much better off pretty much anywhere else.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you gotta think like, where would you want to go?
Yeah, hey, come to Oklahoma. Actually,
I mean,
we got
if you want
kind
to
of got
stay in
running
if you want to
backs.
stay in the Big 12, you want to go to a team with a better fucking O line. So
Yeah.
shit, I'd go to
Arizona State's
Colorado.
yeah, that would he'd fit in.
Arizona State would be nice.
Because
Scatterbo
they're
is
losing
fucking.
Scaddenbo, I think.
I mean, a menace. I like him a lot. I hope he ends up in the
He's
NFL.
probably like my favorite. He's probably my favorite NFL
He
guy.
might
Or
honestly end up slotting into like a fullback spot in the NFL. I can see that because there's a couple of teams in the NFL that run fullbacks. Like you got like the 49ers with
yeah.
Juice Check. How the fuck you say his name? Like he kind of feels like that type of runner, but
Yeah, he's a physical runner. You
he
can't
could
really
also still
tackle him.
play a good bit in running back at the same time. I don't know. He's kind of like a weird build.
Look out for wherever Belichick goes. Look out for Belichick to draft him because
You think he's coming back?
That's a Belichick guy. Oh yeah, he's got like he's narrowed down his teams.
You think so?
It's like they're talking Cowboys, Bears. There's like one other team he was strongly considering. I know the Cowboys and Bears were two of them that he's
Honestly, I would choose the Bears.
they got a younger
I think they have
core.
just better pieces. Like the Cowboys, I feel like are really in like a hole, you know? Like they got that big contract they just gave Dak. Dak's fucking now hurt. I've been wanting them to just move off of him for ages. They have like nobody on offense except CeeDee Lamb. Their defense is kind of not as good as they were, so it's like they need a lot. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't I think he would I think he should go somewhere. because I don't know how him and Jerry Jones would work together. That doesn't sound like
Nah,
a pairing that would work. Because I don't think he's too old to want to be told what to do by Jerry Jones.
I think if he talked to the Cowboys and was like, hey, like if you talk to Jerry Jones, like I need full control. You leave me the fuck alone, and I'll do this. If not, I don't think he would do it. I honestly I think the Bears would be a good spot for him. They got a lot going on for him. And honestly, I don't think Caleb Williams is it.
I still do. I still
He
have faith in him.
I don't like what I've seen. If I'm Belichick, I'm going to the Jets.
I would hate that.
The Jets look they
I would hate
the Jets have
that.
a lot going for them. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah. I mean if I was Belichick, I'd come in there and be like, okay, we're getting rid of Rodgers.
Oh, obviously, and
We're getting
they got
somebody way
Jordan Travis
better.
on the back end. I don't know how he's looking if
He's done it with 6 round picks before.
the Travis the new
He's done it
TB12.
before. I want to say mate. No, I don't think he was considering the Panthers. That'd be
Hell
stupid.
no,
Unless he just like I want full rebuild because they give him full control, no doubt.
for sure.
Um,
He trades the entire team. All right.
went on a little NFL tangent. Most disappointing player of the week. I went with Jalen Milrow.
Yeah, me too.
Three interceptions. Not his best
15.4
showing.
QBR is crazy work. Only 7 yards rushing for Jalen Milrow.
Is Jalen Milrow a senior?
No.
Okay, so he's coming back next year. Um,
Does he transfer?
I don't know. Like,
Because he's not Kalen DeBoer's like typical, like, I don't think he fits his scheme.
yeah, because Kalen DeBoer, if you look at a guy like Michael Penix last year, more of a pocket passer guy.
Yeah.
He could run every now and then, but he was more just sit in the pocket, pass
I
the
would rather
ball.
have a mobile quarterback in case he needs to go. Like, yeah, okay, make him. I want you to be a pocket passer, but if you need to, you can get away. And Penix had that a little bit, but he didn't. He also didn't get sacked very much either, because they had a great O line. So
Milrose having kind of a bad year.
yeah,
It's
slightly.
like I feel like it's just like the system because he looked pretty good last year. Like, fuck,
Yeah.
he took Alabama to the playoffs last year. And I think it's really just the system change that's really is what is messing them up this year. Alabama fans are like, oh, we need to bench them and this and that.
Nah, you got nothing
Um,
better behind him.
Alabama fans need to calm down. Like the sky isn't falling. Like y'all lost three games.
It could
Like
be. I hope the sky's falling
I
for
hope
you.
it is. Yeah, I hope you guys lose next week to Auburn. Then y'all could really panic.
Yeah.
But you guys win against Auburn, they'll probably still give you guys a fucking playoff spot. So I don't even want to hear it from you guys. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Always
At
calling for
least you made
everybody's
it.
job and we need to cut this guy and fire this guy and
I
bench
don't know,
this
but
guy.
this loss does look really bad. This is
No, I
not
mean,
this is terrible. You put up 3 points.
this might be like the worst loss for Alabama probably in like the last like 20 years. Like it's bad.
I
It's
want to
really
say this is
bad.
like I want to say since that like 2011 LSU game, I think this is the least amount of points they've scored. So it's like 13 years.
Yeah, it's like the lowest
Because
amount
that
of
game was like 9-3 or some shit.
yeah, it's like the lowest
But
amount of points they've been held to or something like that.
so this is worse than that. So I don't even know how far back it goes. Because that's the
Yeah.
last one I'm aware of.
Well, and LSU was a good team. Like this
I was like
OU
it.
team's not very good. So this
No.
is just
But
like
the
all around bad for them.
y'all's defense is elite though.
Oh, our defense is amazing, and
Elite.
I'm glad they showed up. Yeah,
They,
Milrow struggled though.
they
That's,
showed up.
yeah,
They
he's
showed
my
out.
best player. Oh yeah, we could both actually do team talk this week. We both
I
finally
did.
got
I did.
wins.
I didn't get to watch my game. It wasn't. I couldn't watch it. So
I watched probably
you
more of it than you
you have to
did.
talk for us. I don't know. I mean, according to the stats, we looked okay, but I mean, it
We
is a
look
fucking
decent.
FCS. That's a high school team.
Hey, it's a win
But
though.
we're also basically a high school team, so maybe we're like a Super 6A team, and they're like a 3A or
It
something.
was a
Four.
state championship.
Yeah, it's like the state champion of like Texas playing like the state champion of like Vermont.
Yeah, basically.
That's exactly how it feels.
I guess we could get into Heisman. I'm gonna be honest. I just got a top four at this point.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't put a 5. Yep, same thing.
Because
Um,
I took Bryson Daly off,
yeah,
and to me it's just a four.
I got Gabriel at
I
4.
got Gabriel at four as well. Um, I don't
It's,
know. His stats aren't amazing, but he has the wins. I feel like that's all he really got. He has for him now.
yeah, I think he'll.
He's
They
getting
might get
invited
invited. Do they do? They just do three, don't they?
before.
Oh yeah, then they're all four gonna get invited. Like this is the four. There's nobody else.
Yeah.
Uh,
Then there are four.
Cam Ward at three.
Cam Ward is at three. I debated putting Dylan above him.
And if they didn't have that fucking loss, I think he'd be number one.
Yeah, his stats are. I hope he does. I'm just not a quarterback. Please don't be a quarterback.
I don't if it's gonna it's Ginty and Travis Hunter. There's no other option.
Yeah.
And everybody has Travis Hunter number one, so I don't think Ginty is gonna win. I still have Travis Hunter two.
Yeah, that's where I have I do think, after this good receiving performance, even though it was a loss, this helps him quite a bit.
Yeah, he had a
Uh,
good defensive performance too.
so if he can just have a good and he's playing OSU as a terrible defense this next weekend. Um,
He, if I'm
not a very good quarterback either. So he might be able to do something on both sides.
if I'm him and I'm like, hey, I want to go out and fucking like, lock this shit up, I tell Dion like, yo, give me the fucking ball. Just let me at least get 200, maybe two touchdowns. I think that would do it.
At this point, they don't really have
They have
much.
nothing to play for.
They have nothing to play for. Give him his Heisman.
And he's not going to play the bowl game. He's Shador's not going to play the bowl game. So this is probably the last game you see Shador and Travis Hunter play together.
Yeah, and
Let him
Travis
go
Hunter said
fucking
he's playing both sides in the NFL is what he said.
yeah. So let him go ball out.
Yeah, I think he gets like I think he could have a three touchdown game. I think that's very possible
Yeah,
against this sorry ass defense he's about to go up against, and
I think he's got the Heisman locked up.
he might get a pick too.
Yeah, or if he could force a turnover at least,
Yeah,
fumble.
I mean I'm still in the Genty camp right
Me
now.
too. Me too. I want
Um,
him to win, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
that the performance last week was it's kind of sad that like he had a great performance, but it's still not good enough.
Yeah.
169 yards, but that wasn't enough against Wyoming. Um, he's just not going to break the record, and I think he's not going to
What
win.
does he need? Like, what was it? 600?
Yeah, it was like 2650 or something like that, close to that.
So he's got this game, the bowl game, or the conference championship.
Actually, yeah, he could break the record in the bowl game, I
Well, in
guess.
the play, if they make the playoffs, then he'd
Uh,
still be cooking. So he basically needs like almost like 250 for the next three games. It's doable, but
it's
it'll
doable.
be too late.
He's probably going to finish the season, maybe 30 touchdowns, which is very impressive. Over 2,000 yards rushing, you don't see that every year.
Yeah.
Um,
He really needed to they needed to be able to do more against these last two teams. We honestly thought they would crush Wyoming and he was gonna put up like
yeah,
400, but I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I watched a little bit of the game, but it was more towards the end. So I don't know what the offensive struggles were. Were they just stacking the box and then making them throw, getting them in third and long or something like that? No idea. But that's kind of how it feels.
yeah. If I had a vote, I'd vote for Genty. Like if I
Yeah, me
had a
too.
Heisman vote, that's who I would vote for. I think Travis Hunter's had a great year, but I think it's all just being based off his snap count is really, really why he's getting the Travis Hunter's going to win the Heisman. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anybody else that like I mean, unless Genty does break the NCAA record in like the next game or something, which I wouldn't put it past him. Like it can happen,
Mm,
but I
Oregon
just
State's not
don't see it.
terrible.
Yeah, they might lose that game, quite honestly.
It's doable. Definitely doable. I hope not, but hate to see it, man. I really wanted him to go crazy these last two games and like just get like within spitting distance of the record, so then people would be like, okay, he's gonna hit it. Now it's like he needs a lot,
This is one of the craziest Heisman years we've had in a
like
long
probably
time.
ever.
Yeah,
You got a running back and a cornerback wide receiver battling it out.
yeah.
Like what? You might
And
as
then
well.
even
Who's the best kicker? You might as well put him up there too.
even the two quarterbacks, like
You're
in
having great years.
any normal year, that'd probably be number one and two would be like Cam Ward probably would win and Dylan Gabriel would probably be number two.
Yep.
And but
Just
this year we just
unfortunate
have
for for Ginty that he's having to go up against the media hype chain and Travis Hunter, which is
yeah,
he's having a really good year.
and a guy who plays two sides of the ball, which is like it doesn't happen
Yeah.
very often. And when it does happen, they're usually not that good on one side of the ball, but he's pretty good on both.
He's at least above average for both sides.
Yeah. Well, we're pretty much like the Heisman's almost over. That's crazy. We're almost to the Heisman
I can't believe the
ceremony.
season's almost over. It's went
Th-
by very quick.
Really quick. This is probably the most entertaining season we've had in a while.
I'd say
Um,
so.
I guess we could get to team talk. We've been skipping this segment for the past like 4 weeks probably. Um, my Oklahoma Sooners finally come out with a win. We couldn't throw the ball worth a shit, but Jackson Arnold can run. I say move him to running back next year if he wants to stay. He can't throw, but he can run, and he's a powerful runner. Defense amazing. They basically scored for us twice. Interception that was a pick six, and another interception that put the ball at like the 10 or something, and then we got another pick towards the end of the game. This was I don't know. This is like one of my favorite games as an OU fan,
This game is crazy.
which is really sad considering how bad this year was. I just didn't expect us to beat the shit out of them. Like I thought we were gonna lose. I thought it was gonna be like 40-0 or
Oh
something.
yeah, I mean, I thought they was gonna beat y'all by like at least 21. And the spread was at 14. So now, like looking back at it and seeing that spread at 14, it's like it kind of makes sense. It's like somehow somebody knew this game was gonna be closer than everybody else thought. So it's like,
Yeah, how does that house always know? Like it's
yeah,
just
they did. Like, because 14's not a lot against OU with Alabama. It's like the seventh ranked team. Like I get it's on the road and like a tough place to play, but like the OU's offense is abysmal. So it's
yeah.
like it's weird.
And the offense really wasn't that great, really, because
Oh,
like
they just ran the ball the whole time.
the
Like if they could stop the run, you guys would have scored no points other than maybe the pick six.
yeah, and I mean Alabama played really bad too, but also I think our defense is really good. So I think it's a mixture
They're
of both.
they're
And
very good.
Venables has a great track record of beating Alabama teams. I think the last time they lost by multiple scores like this was against Clemson in that national championship, and Venables was on the
Yep.
sideline for that game as well. Uh, yeah, I mean we're bowl eligible. That's exciting. Honestly, like I never thought I'd be that excited about bowl
It's cool for
eligible.
like the seniors that are gonna play. I
Yeah,
mean,
Stutzman and Bowman, I was so happy for them because
yeah,
they
this
could
is a
have gone to the NFL
huge
last year.
this is a huge win for them to like kind of go out on pretty much. Who do
Yeah.
you guys play next week?
We play LSU
Yeah, you guys
at
could win that
LSU.
game.
I think we could, LSU's struggling. Hopefully everybody's more confident now
Yeah,
after what we just did. And I think if let's say we beat LSU, we win the bowl game, we finish 8-5. Actually a pretty good year.
yeah.
Like all
Compared
things
to like where
considered.
like how you were starting. Yeah, I know. I'd take that absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't
I think
see.
this game saved Venable's job, honestly.
I think so. I don't see why they wouldn't kind of just do the same thing to LSU. Run the same. See if it works. Come out playing the same way. Run the ball.
Yeah, get Nussmeyer
Quarterback.
flustered.
Yeah. Because the defense is gonna show up. So if they can stop LSU's offense, and it might be a low scoring game. Kind of just banging it out in the trenches the whole game. So it could be like a 17-14, something low like that. But or it
Or
could be
just
like this too. You guys could just somehow blow them out again.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how high the confidence is. We'll see if this is a fluke. It could be, it very well could be. First time I've ever seen OU rush the field in my entire life. Apparently, it's happened like once during my lifetime, but I probably was like three or four,
Yeah, it's nuts.
and it was cool. Yeah, we rushed the field. I did a little bit prematurely before the game was over, so that was kind of stupid.
It's like
But
that happened again in the Arizona State game.
yeah, it's like, what are you guys doing? Like, watch the clock. That's all you got to do. Just wait till it hits zero.
Yeah.
But that field was crazy. It was like one of the most packed fields I've seen. Like just watching like football all year. Like the only other one that was that packed, I feel like was maybe Vanderbilt. Like that field was crazy too. But they did this like zoom out after Venable's like
Yeah.
interview, and it
I
was
seen
just like
that. You can't even see him.
packed.
It's just a sea of fucking people. I wonder how long it took him to get out of there.
Oh, it probably took forever
I didn't
for
even see
them
the
to get out
cops
of
because
there.
usually the cops escort the coach, but like I didn't see fucking nobody. He
The,
was just out there in the cut.
the cops probably couldn't even find them.
There was just
There's
like,
so many people there. But yeah,
oh, shit.
this was a great win. Terrible season, but this kind of makes up for it just a little bit. And we get to go bowling, which is
Yeah,
nice. I
I
don't know
take
where
it.
we're gonna go. They're saying maybe the Texas Bowl, maybe the Vegas Bowl.
I
They're probably
mean,
gonna put us against USC or Nebraska. They're definitely gonna put us against another struggling blue blood, I would assume.
it's just another game for you guys to get some of your younger guys playing. Because I mean, imagine the majority of the seniors that are going to make it to the NFL, mostly on defense, are probably not going to play. So it gives you
Yeah.
time to like see what you kind of got behind them.
It's like a almost like a early spring game. It's like
Yeah,
a
like a
same
scrimmage.
same same concept. I feel like you're just looking into next year, seeing what kind of talent
Yeah,
you have.
I think making
Um,
the bowl game is gonna just benefit you guys a lot.
yeah. Florida State also had a
We got a
decent.
W, boys. We got a
Hey, it's
W.
it's a win. I did watch a good bit of the first half of this game until it just kind of started to look like, yeah, you guys were for sure gonna win. It started off kind of ugly, I'm not gonna lie. Um, if you go to like the drive summary, it started off like a little shaky. You guys punted, immediately punt, then you guys get a field goal, and then pretty much after that field goal, y'all were pretty much good. I would say you guys can't run the ball at all, not even against this team.
We have
But
no
Luke
line.
Luke looked really good. I thought Luke looked great for most of the game. Yeah, just the running. I don't know. I guess it's the line is the big
Has to
issue.
be. Our running backs aren't bad.
I think if you get this man an O line next year,
Because Cam Davis is a beast.
yeah,
He's big as hell.
you guys have great running backs.
Yeah, we have great running backs. That's not them. There's no way.
You guys need some receivers, I think.
Oh,
Um,
100%. We need everything. We have nobody.
if you could get, I think this is your guy. Honestly, I
I
think
think so
Luke is your
too.
guys' guy. I think he's better than Brock Glenn by a mile.
I'm pretty sure Brock's transferring.
Yeah, he kind of has to.
But then if DJ comes back, like, there's no way he does come back. Why would we waste all of this time that Luke's been playing and just for him to be the backup and we go back to DJ?
Did you
When like,
burn Luke's red shirt?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, you gotta just move on with Luke. I feel like,
Yeah,
ah,
sure did.
damn,
So
damn,
yeah, you have to rock with him. You kind of can't
yeah,
just like, okay, we wasted a whole year. I mean, the whole year's a wasted in general, but just for us to turn to fucking, because he'd be a junior by the time he got to start again. Because he'd
yeah,
all next year he'd be backup, and then he'd be a junior. At that point, we'd have somebody else fucking come in, or maybe we'd be looking at another transfer. So it's like,
yeah.
just let
And
him.
if you guys didn't burn his red shirt, maybe, but I think he's very talented. I think he looks like he's gonna be better than DJ if you get him
Yeah,
some.
I like him a lot. He's got it. He
He's
can play.
accurate. He's got a good deep ball.
He's
He's
mobile.
athletic. Yeah, he's athletic. Yeah, especially I ended up watching the highlights too. Like the whole second half was really good, and it was kind of cool to like you could just when the game started, you could just tell the crowd was just not into it. They're just tired of this team. They actually looked excited once like the team started scoring and shit.
Because I imagine when the game started, we first punted there, it was like, oh, fucking Christ.
And at
Here we
first I was
go.
like, "Oh, are you guys
We're
about to
gonna lose.
lose?" Because y'all had a them punt like their first drive, but then y'all ran into the kicker or roughed the kicker or whatever.
Mm.
So they got a first down, and I was like, "Damn, are they about to score?" But y'all stopped them again. But it was looking a little rough there for a minute. They had a your boy on the sideline. What's the guy? The guy that your conspiracy defensive
Oh,
coordinator.
Randy Shannon?
Yeah, they like kind of focused in on him. Like it was funny because they're like, this isn't the first time he's been in this position before. And
See?
I was like, okay, these guys know what's up, I guess.
It's not like a completely far-fetched, but I mean, I don't know. I just thought it was kind of funny, but I don't know. The fact that we gave up 218 yards passing to like this team is like just gross. If this
There's
was last
just
year's teams, they probably wouldn't have had 50.
yeah.
They probably would have had 75 total yards. That'd be four turnovers, and it would be 70-0.
It's also concerning that they beat you in time of possession.
I think we're just scoring fast.
Yeah, I mean that's also part of it.
At least it seems that way. Minute 48, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, three and a half, three and a half.
Yeah.
They was probably just run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, something like that. I wish I'd have got to watch the game.
I mean, it's 41 to 7. It was on the ACC network, which is watching the ACC network, that's a bad
It's
network. It's like
it's
the SEC
trash.
network. It's trash. All the like conference networks are garbage. Um, yeah. This was good. This was good though. This is like a morale booster.
I hope
Maybe
so.
maybe y'all spirits are enough to where y'all won't get destroyed by Florida completely.
There's no way we win this
Um,
game.
oh, you're not gonna win, but
There's no,
maybe just
it's
lose
not
by
even
like
gonna
two
be
scores or
close.
something.
No. They're also, they hate us too, so they're gonna just come and stomp us out. I mean, we held
Hey,
Miami, so it's like that was a rivalry game.
we also both thought there was no chance OU could win against Bama this past weekend.
Well, you guys have an elite defense. We have elite special teams. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we can get some, some muff punts, that's all we got. But I mean, we held Clemson and Miami to a reasonable game, so maybe we can do the same with Florida. I don't know, but Florida's got a better defense than Miami.
Yeah. I mean, you guys need a miracle. I mean, it just
Yeah,
is what it is. But if y'all did beat Florida, that would probably be great. That'd be like a
okay.
huge way to end the season, last game of the season, which
I'd
is
take it.
crazy. It's crazy, like knowing that this is your last game. Like, there's no bowl, nothing. Like, this is just the last game of the season against Florida.
Yep, how the mighty have
Uh,
fallen.
yeah, especially last year, undefeated, going to the ACC champ. Last year, the Florida game didn't even matter if y'all won or lost. You're still going to the ACC championship.
Yeah, sometimes this year all we had to do was win that game, we'd be in.
Well, hey, at least y'all got a win finally. At least y'all didn't lose this game because we did talk about like could y'all possibly lose this game?
Yeah,
But
I don't think it was completely off the table. But
I think if you guys lost this game, that would have just sent everything. Like Norvell would have been gone.
he would have
Um,
had to have been. There's no way.
there's no way you could
Because
lose a
we'd have
game like
finished
this.
fucking what 1-11
Yeah.
with a loss to an FCS school on top of that. I still don't know how we beat Cal. Like, no idea.
Well, it's really weird though, because like Georgia Tech was a close game.
Boston College is close-ish.
Memphis was close. Boston College was
Yeah.
kind of, but I think maybe DJ was better than we thought because DJ was in all of those games.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think he's at least decent, but it's just nothing he could have done either. So I don't think there might not be anybody in college football right now you could put on this offense to win these games. Because like the receivers can't fucking catch, so you might as well just put a running back there and not throw the
Yeah.
ball.
You need
Uh,
Bryson Daly or something.
yeah, we'd have to run the triple option. That's the only thing that would make sense. But we don't have the offensive line to run the triple option, so we'd get no yards every time.
I am curious to see how you guys attack this offseason because unfortunately you guys are going to have to use the transfer portal again. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
there's no way you can get around it,
We've
even though that's
lost
kind of
so
what got you
much.
guys in this position in the first place, but you almost have to double down on it because you need a no line, you need receivers. You might glance into quarterback, see who's out there.
Yeah.
Um, you because like Luke does look good, but if there's somebody you like really, really good, you might just say fuck it. Like we need to bounce back this year. Like this is a make or break year for everybody. Probably your athletic director as well, honestly.
That motherfucker needs to go. I'm convinced. See you. I
I
think he
mean,
should have been. If he's not fired at the end of the year, I would be semi-surprised because Randy Shannon will be gone at the end of the year. So we're gonna need. We need an offensive coordinator, an O-line coach, a defensive coordinator. We'll need a linebacker coach. We'll need a defensive back coach. There's five. Um, at least as of right now, that's and will be five. So yeah, that's a lot.
you got to break out the checkbook too. You
That's
can't be
that's a
can't be cheap.
whole new staff.
Ideally for you guys would get the UNLV
I fucking
guy
hope
on
so.
offense.
I
That
hope
would help
so.
you a lot. Defensively, Shit, I would call the South Carolina guy and just see if
I
he
think I heard
even seeing it.
Kentucky's defensive coordinator.
Yeah, that'd be solid too.
I'd fuck with that because Kentucky's had pretty good defenses.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's because of Stoops or I don't know if he calls the defense or well, I'm
He's
not sure.
more of a defensive guy, I think.
So maybe he helped build that guy up or I don't know. I'm not sure how they run their shit. So, but if that guy's good and he's because Kentucky's got pretty good defenses, I think it'd be an improvement. So, oh yeah, we still need a wide receiver coach. He also got fired. That's six. Unless you're
Lot
gonna
of
like maybe lump in like offensive coordinator and offensive line into one.
yeah. Usually what happens is like let's say you guys get the UNLV guy. He most likely just brings in his offensive staff from there
Probably,
and just brings it under
or at
him.
least some of them.
Yeah, as many as he could bring with him.
Yeah. Defensively, we might look somewhere else.
Yeah, I don't know who. There's a lot of options. You got Notre Dame. You could look at even Florida. I don't not Florida wouldn't he wouldn't leave
Nah,
Florida.
there's no way.
The defensive
Um,
coordinator there. Um,
who's had good defenses this year? Fuck Iowa. I want Iowa. Who the fuck they got? I want him.
Iowa. There's a I don't
I
know.
want Ohio State's defensive coordinator, Old Knowles.
He you offer him enough money. That's the key to it.
But yeah, I don't think we
Um,
have enough money though. Man, did you see I don't know how accurate this is. Like Michigan and them like somehow wrangling up $200 million for like NIL.
yeah, I heard Tom Brady was like a big donor in that.
Like, that's fucking crazy. It's gonna be yeah, him, the fucking the Barstool guy, probably put in a lot. People are like, what the fuck? How did they get like where the fuck did they get all this money? Like, because they're not really like a big financial school like that previously.
They have a few big celebrities who have a lot of money that can
Yeah, it's
afford to give it to them.
I don't like it. It's they're gonna have to figure something out. There's no way this is gonna work. Because it's just gonna be who's got the richest fans, who's got the richest alumni, you know what I mean? Let's just get as much money as possible. We buy all the top recruits coming out of high school, build a super team, and there'll be like three or four teams that'll be doing that. It'll be like Michigan
Yeah.
with their 200 mil,
Ohio State,
A&M, Ohio State, um,
probably Bama and Oregon as well. I'll throw in there.
Oregon 100%. Bama, I don't know. I don't know how much what they got.
I think they have a shit
I
ton.
think I think LSU would probably be up there.
Texas, obviously, they have a shit ton of money as well.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be like six, seven schools that have the most money, and then everybody else is like, okay, well, we'll take all the three stars and fighting over the scraps.
You have to, they have to set like a salary cap,
It has to
or
be.
it's gonna turn into like professional baseball where just whoever has the most money is pretty much gonna win almost every time. It's kind of
Yep.
unfortunate that it's got to this point. I don't know why there's no rules. It's because the schools are getting greedy. That's really what it is. Like it's getting to the point where like they don't even want to have rules. They just,
It's
oh,
a fucking free for all.
NCAA is trying to tell us what to do. Well, fuck you. We'll make our own fucking separate thing if you want to try to tell us what to do because we're greedy as fuck. And
I just
it's annoying. It's annoying.
I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know how they fix this going forward. 'Cause how do you
Well, and
enforce it?
it's crazy because like schools like Florida State, for example, it's got a decent amount of money, but then when you compare it to something like Ohio State, it's like how do you compete even with OU? Like we have a lot of money, but like we don't compare to like Ohio State. We don't compare to Michigan as far
No.
as the money they're getting. Then you're just fucked. You're just like, okay, we're gonna just
It's like there's no point in watching.
at best we're gonna be like a barely get in playoff team. At
Maybe,
best, at
maybe.
best.
Yeah. You might luck out on a fucking superstar quarterback at a high school that somebody missed, and you're like, oh, okay.
Legacy player or
Yeah,
something.
something. That's the only way that'd be like a not very often thing.
Unless you get a superstar coach who just could talk anybody to come and play
Yeah,
for.
but How long would it take you to eventually lock into that? 10, 20, 40, 50 years? Who knows?
Yeah, and well, and then
And by that point,
one
college
one of
football
one
will
of
be
the
dead.
one of those motherfuckers will steal that coach if you get that guy.
Exactly. Oh, here's
Oh,
$100 million. Come coach us. But just yeah, I think eventually if it keeps going with this, like college football is just it's just gonna die because you're gonna have like I said, 6 to 8 power teams. So everybody that's not well like a fan of those teams, like okay, well we're just not gonna fucking watch it. So all the revenue's not gonna be there. Like it's like why would you even? What's the point? They must as well just these teams just play each other all year.
yeah, that is why I have some faith that they'll fix it
It has to be, or it's not. It's going to kill college football.
because I'm not gonna watch college football if it's just
No, I mean
Ohio
neither.
State, Michigan, Bama, and Georgia every year.
No, there's no
It's not
point.
worth it.
There's no point. Or they're gonna have to make like fuck it, split them, well, split everybody else back to FCS, and you have an FBS of like 10 teams. That's you guys have your own conference. You guys have
Yeah,
your own championship.
we'll watch all this. We'll watch our teams, and you guys have fun with that shit,
Yeah,
basically.
you guys have your super division and FBS Division One AA or something, and yeah, everybody else will just play a normal football. It's
I don't know. It's like this has been a great year, but then when you look at like the direction college football's heading in,
it's just it doesn't feel great. It's just like it makes me sad. It's like a
it feels nasty. It feels dirty. You
Yeah,
know what I
it's like a
mean?
black cloud in the distance, and you just see it coming. It's like a storm. And you're like, well, this isn't gonna be good.
Well, it's like every
I don't
year it's
know.
supposed to slowly not feel like college football because
Yeah,
they keep making these crazy changes.
I don't know when it's gonna hit that point, but it's on the way unless something happens. Not excited.
I guess we could do our little look ahead into to next week.
It should be a good
Um,
week, rivalry week
yeah, it's rivalry week, end of the
ish,
season.
rivalry week ish. I know some teams like OU's not playing OSU this year, so it's like
Yeah.
stuff's changed up a little bit. Got Oregon, Boise State. I think that'll be a solid game. This game could be really good. I think this game will be close.
Yeah, that'll be
I,
an interesting game.
I Minnesota wins. I actually might watch this. Ole Miss should blow Mississippi State out.
Oh.
This is all on Friday. I was like, what? I was like, I seen this and I
Oh
was like,
yeah,
oh,
because
this is a
It's
light week.
Thanksgiving week. I forgot. Yeah.
Oh, we got one game on Thanksgiving. Memphis Tulane. That's actually decent. I think that'd be a decent game.
Those
I
are
like
two very
Tulane.
solid games.
Uh, Georgia Tech.
Hey, I think Georgia Tech could do it. I don't think they will, but I think they
Nah,
could.
it's not outside the realm, I suppose. It's a decent Friday. Look at these fucking tickets.
What the?
No way.
That's no way that's right. There's no way that's right. No, okay, yeah.
What?
$241 is the lowest. That's probably the most
What?
expensive.
Why does it say tickets as low as? Is that what they said?
Yeah, they're acting like the cheapest ticket was $4,000.
Where's the where are those tickets at? The 2000.
They don't even have $4,000 tickets there. 500 to sit up in the nosebleeds. Get the
Where's the
fuck out of here.
box?
Oh, that might be yeah.
It's got to be one of these like sideline seats.
Yeah, it's probably that the
Do I get to get on the fucking field for that?
imagine playing like paying $1,000 to go to one game. That's not even like a good game. What's the view looking like? I mean, that's like
You get that for $4,352
there better
each.
be a fucking bar behind me.
I don't even like this view. Like,
Yeah, I don't like the vertical view. I like
I'd
more of the
much rather
horizontal
have
view.
like this for a whole
Yeah.
like thousand cheaper. If I had the money and I was like a fan, that's also a nice fucking stadium. So that's fucking crazy. I don't.
If I had the money, I'd probably get like a box seat, which like they don't have the best view. But then when you think about like kind of like the things like okay, you're to the bathroom, it's a lot quicker
The
in a box seat.
amenities.
Yeah, getting a drink, you don't have to wait in line as much. Get
All
service.
right. Oh, yeah, Michigan, Ohio State. It's crazy. You haven't even heard about this game because Michigan's falling off a cliff. This is usually like
Watch Michigan win. That'd be
I
awesome.
hope it's a good game at least. Like I hope Michigan can find some fucking offense or at least the defense shows
Yeah.
up.
It'll
Uh
have to be a defensive battle for Michigan to have a chance.
yeah, there's no way they win this game, but I just hope it's at least half the game is close. It's like okay, gets you closer to the next slate of games before it turns into a blowout. South Carolina Clemson, this is gonna be a great
I
game.
think South Carolina kind of whoops the fuck out of Clemson, in my
I think
opinion.
they're gonna win, yeah.
It
Tennessee
is at
Vandy,
Clemson, which does give them a little bit of
yeah.
yeah,
Tennessee
Tennessee Vandy's
Vandy's
a good
gonna be
game.
good. Okay, that's a
That's a
good
rivalry game.
three stack right there at 11 o'clock.
That might be one of the best of the season as far as 11 a.m. because 11 a.m. is usually not that good.
I like that a lot. Anything else sticking out? Notre Dame USC could be fun. I don't know. Miami Syracuse upset alert there. There's no way Maryland beats Penn State. Auburn Alabama at 2:30. This is a stacked weekend. Like it doesn't necessarily look like it on paper, but if like you think about it a little bit.
Notre Dame could lose to USC because that is a rivalry game.
I mean, yeah, but
It's at USC.
maybe. Because they did lose to Northern Illinois. So anything's possible. They're not unbeatable. Uh, Alabama upset alert. Arizona State upset alert. It's a
Upset
rivalry
alert.
game there.
Even Arkansas, Missouri is like a low key pretty good game.
Yeah.
Um, I think Missouri probably wins, but I don't know.
NC State, North Carolina could be fun. I was gonna say there's no night games. This weekend's fucking crazy.
Um, Florida State, Florida,
Uh,
um, OU,
Oklahoma,
LSU.
LSU, Texas A&M. Fuck, this weekend is
Ooh.
stacked.
Texas and Texas A&M is probably the one I'm most excited
That's
for.
got to be game day,
Um,
right?
yeah, I would assume so. It's on ABC, yeah, so that's usually the game day.
K-State, Iowa could be cool. BYU, Houston. This is insane. Like, 'cause I
This,
guess nobody's on a bye week, so that's why it's so full.
this is the most exciting probably, and there's just all the playoff implications are
This
this
is
week.
it.
Like if you fuck up this week, you're fucked. Like there's no coming back from it.
Unless you're one of like the top four teams, and you can.
Yeah,
Well, Boise State can't afford to lose. Um, does Miami play? I
I
didn't
didn't
see
see
it.
them.
Oh, they play. Yeah, Syracuse. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. So
they
Boise
could
Boise
lose.
State can't lose. Oregon can drop a game if they wanted. Miami can't lose. I don't think.
No.
Texas could lose again. I don't think Notre Dame could lose. Penn State could maybe lose. Ohio State could definitely lose. So like maybe four or five teams.
Yeah.
Everybody
Uh,
else, you lose, you're done.
yeah, Georgia's out if they lose for sure, which that'd be awesome.
Alabama would be back in.
I don't
That's
want Bam. That's
yeah.
so
So
stupid.
if any of these teams lose, Alabama's back in. And if two of them lose, Ole Miss will probably be in as well. If three lose, we might get South Carolina in there.
Well, the best case scenario,
It's
Bama loses and then some
true.
other teams lose too. Like just
Is all
I want complete chaos. I want
was Ole Miss on here? I didn't even see them. So we kind of want like if okay, we want Bama to lose, Georgia to lose, South Carolina to
Miami to
get in, Miami
lose.
to lose, shit, Texas to lose. Why not?
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
I don't see Ole Miss. Do they just
Maybe
not have a
their offense
rival? He's taking rivalry week off.
they're not good enough to have a rival.
I don't see that. Oh no, they're playing Mississippi State on Friday.
That is a good this is the Egg Bowl. They're
So
gonna
we need
lose.
them to
They're gonna
we
win.
we want them to lose too.
That'd be complete chaos. Because South Carolina at that point would get in. I don't even know who's below South Carolina, but it'd just be fucking stupid.
Let's see. Okay, so if like four of the top 12 teams lose, Clemson
It'd be
would
like
get.
Tulane or some.
Oh, Clemson would get in because they
No,
wouldn't.
because in our scenario, we have them losing to South Carolina.
Oh yeah,
So
you're right.
so
Okay, so
they would get kicked out too.
they're out. They're out. They're out. South Carolina in. Arizona State's already in. You'd have fucking Tulane and like Iowa State But if A&M beats Texas, I think they'd get back in.
Yeah, they would get in. A&M would
They
get
would
in
jump.
over, and honestly, Iowa State would probably get in over Tulane,
So I think it'd be South Carolina, Iowa State, and A&M.
which that'd be I'd be content with that.
And you'd have no Miami, Georgia.
Bama, Ole Miss, or Clemson, which that's right. That's not gonna happen, but
Hey, a man can
we,
dream.
we can we can we can wish for
It's
complete
possible. It's
chaos.
possible. It's just
Uh,
very unlikely.
I'm excited for this weekend. This is gonna be a great weekend.
Yeah. Even the Thursday, Friday games are solid. So it's the last real good weekend of football. And then we got fucking bowl games up until January when did the playoffs start?
That's a good question because that changes a lot of how this because December is usually a boring month in college football.
Uh,
Uh,
so conference championships are beginning of December,
so it'd be like
roughly.
maybe like December 12th is
And
probably when they start.
the four first round games will be played at the home 20 and 21 December.
Oh, interesting. So around Christmas time.
And did you see it's like I think all like right now all the four teams that are supposed to host playoff games are all like up north, cold, snowy.
That's kind of awesome,
So you,
honestly.
so you'd have like would it be Ohio State hosting Penn State, Notre Dame, and Georgia? Well, I guess they're okay, three of them. I think this was before Indiana lost. I seen that. So I think it was supposed to be Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, or something like that. So yeah, Notre Dame cold as fuck. Penn State be cold as fuck. Ohio State cold as fuck. All outdoors. Ugh.
I'm kind of excited because like normally we don't have relevant games around Christmas time. Normally
Mm.
that's just when like some bullshit like bowl games are being played. Like an actual on campus playoff game
It's gonna be hot. It's gonna be
like the
crazy.
like the week before Christmas is insane.
First time this is gonna happen. Teams hosting playoff games on campus. That shit's gonna be fucking nuts.
And they're storming the field no matter who wins, probably.
Exactly. Yeah, you might as well.
It's
Fuck
a
it.
playoff game. Like, why not?
And so like, is there gonna be multiple on like the same day, or is it every day there's one?
I
Oh
I
no,
made
because
it
it was
sound
December 20 and
20th
21st,
and
so it's
30th. So I'm
two and
assuming
two.
two each day.
So I imagine like game day maybe picks like one, maybe
Yeah.
the highest. So it'd be like the Tennessee, Georgia,
It'd be the one with the closest seeds. Yeah, like Tennessee, Georgia would
and
probably be game of the
then
week.
oh, would they do both days? Like I don't know. Or they just pick like the best seed for the first four games, or
They
it's
might they
weird.
might do they might do both days actually.
I'm not sure how game day will work for the playoffs, or if they even do it.
Yeah. They're gonna be spread thin because you got to think like okay,
A
like
lot of traveling,
so this first weekend you'd probably have Kirk and Chris Fowler doing Tennessee, Georgia
probably.
is what I'd assume, and then I don't know who their second best crew is, but the second best crew is probably on I don't know. Would you put them on SMU? No, that's probably not a good game. Indiana,
Yeah,
Penn State, probably,
that's
probably.
basically even right there. 11 and 6 and 10 and 7.
Yeah, I'm thinking just kind of like brands,
Probably Indiana, Penn State.
but I don't know.
Big Ten matchup. Like
Well, then
if
it's four, yeah. So
if this is
Chris
how it
Fowler and
ended,
Kirk Herbstreit are probably doing two games that weekend.
yeah.
Probably Georgia, Tennessee, and yeah, probably the
Oh, and
second
then
one.
if it's on the weekday, because Kirk does Thursday night football.
Yeah, I wonder if he will be like off that week,
Is the 20th and what day is that?
or is it a Saturday?
It's a Friday, Saturday. So he's gonna go college or Thursday night football on Thursday to probably immediately go into call whatever games on Friday.
And then go to another one on Saturday, more than likely. So
Yeah, he might do too.
he'll be a busy man.
I like him as a commentator. I think he's good. He's just they do be glazing some teams and players a little more than others, but
No, I mean I think they piss me off a lot, but like overall I like them. But they do
yeah.
piss me the fuck off like quite often. They get awfully annoying. But Kirk is probably the best out of all of them because he's pretty fucking informed on everything. Like
Oh,
you could tell he's like that's all he does is
he
like
knows too
study.
much. I'm like, how the fuck do you like find this? Like some of the stats or the just the
He'll know things about like the third stringer on the team. Like
yeah.
somebody will get hurt, and then some player that's
And,
not
and
played
he,
the
he
whole
knows
season
about their
comes
fucking family, where they went to high school. He's like, I actually know this person personally. Like when Marcel Reed came in, he's like, I know, like he's like, I know him or something like that. And I was like, but why? How?
like, how do you know every
This is
player
a
at every
backup
school?
on the fucking not even a power school or a powerhouse school, I'd say. It's just it's he's the dude's insane.
He's probably one of the best commentators as far as like knowledgeable.
I
I think
think he is.
my favorite of like entertainment value is probably Gus Johnson. I think he's awesome. Him and Joel Klatt together. I wish like they could host some playoff games too, but it's
Gus
all
Johnson's
ESPN.
fucking he gets fucking hype. Like he gets
He
hype
he just
hype.
he just says like crazy shit just off the top of his head.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he said last time, but every game he says something crazy. Where I'm like, what the fuck, man? Why'd you say
Yeah,
that?
I like Joe Collette a lot too. Like, he's pretty
He's
knowledgeable.
kind of like the Kirk Herbstreit of Fox.
Yeah,
He
I'd
knows
say
quite a
so.
bit. I don't think he knows
Great
quite as
value, Kirk.
much. Yeah. Well, I've actually he has a podcast that I actually like quite a bit. He calls out the SEC bias because Fox isn't in bed with the
Yeah,
SEC
but
as
he's more so
much.
like in bed with the Big Ten.
Big Ten now, so he's
But
kind of
is
on the
is he
same
calling out the
shit.
Big Ten bias? 'Cause
Yeah, I don't feel like he
I
is.
feel like they
So
kind of have like a bigger bias right now than the SEC does. Like
yeah,
it's almost even because they got what one, two, three, four teams in there. SEC's got one,
three.
three. I don't know. I don't know.
But yeah, I think we're pretty much at the end of our episode.
Oh,
If you watched this far, thank you for watching. Yeah, when the season ends, we're probably gonna shift a little bit into just random episodes. We'll figure all that out. Um, so yeah, don't expect us to be covering recruiting all off
hell
season.
no. That's
We're just not gonna be doing it.
I don't have
We're gonna
I don't
be
have the time.
honestly, you might just get episodes where we just hit record and who fucking knows where it ends
We just
up.
be yapping. And
So
we might touch on some NFL.
yeah,
Maybe.
NFL, we'll touch on some sports stuff. Um,
Anything crazy pops up.
but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Oops.